When we think of the future, we imagine all kinds of crazy things like robot butlers, self-driving cars, and of course, flying cars. But despite all the hype, we still don't have any of those things. So are flying cars ever really going to become a thing? Well, maybe. There are a lot of companies out there working on different aspects of the flying car conundrum. Some are focusing on the airframe, some are working on electric vertical takeoff and landing, or eVTOL vehicles. And others are figuring out how to make it all legal. To get a flying car off the ground, you need 3 basic things: wings, an engine, and a way to control it. For this video, we were going to mix prototypes with predictions and talk about a few flying cars that may one day rule the skies. First up, let's look at some actual prototypes that have taken to the skies. The first manned flight of the Terrafugia Transition was back in 2006, and this 4-seat plane was designed so that it could be driven on regular roads like a regular car. It just needed a little extra space to unfold its wings. The company went bankrupt during the recession of 2008, but its assets were purchased by a Chinese car manufacturer, albeit with no real plans to move forward with the technology. Then there's the PAL-V Liberty, 3-wheeled flying car that made headlines back in 2017 when it became the first of its kind to receive a special airworthiness certificate from the European Union Aviation Safety Agency. The company has been working on the Liberty for 10 years before that, with plans for it to fold up its wings automatically upon touchdown. While the PAL-V Liberty can seat 2 and reach speeds of up to 160 kilometers per hour in the air, it hasn't quite moved into production yet. So what about the future of flying cars? Let's take a look at some predictions. The Airbus pop-up concept was unveiled in 2019, and it was designed to both take off and land vertically. This would allow it to use the same infrastructure as a regular car, like a parking garage, for example. Because it's fully electric, it doesn't require any special fuel. The only problem is that the concept was developed with the idea of using it for ride-sharing services rather than individual ownership. And that means there isn't much incentive for anyone to develop the technology further, unless, of course, ride-sharing services start to feel a little too crowded for your liking. But if you want to get away from all that, there's always the option of a personal air taxi. The Uber Elevate concept was unveiled in 2020 and features 4 individually rotating wings that allow it to take off and land vertically. Although Uber sold off its air taxi division in 2020, the idea continues on through companies like Joby Aviation, which recently partnered with Uber to bring its flying taxi ideas to life. The concept uses a battery-powered motor and can reach speeds of 320 kilometers per hour while carrying 5 passengers. They've even partnered with manufacturing giant Honeywell to help them produce 1,000 vehicles by 2024. Of course, all these concepts rely on there being enough infrastructure to support them. And that's where the Jetson S2 comes in. Back in 2019, the company proposed an all-electric seaplane that could carry up to 7 passengers and travel up to 400 kilometers per hour. One of the most unique parts about this concept is that it was designed to be powered by solar energy as well as batteries. While they haven't yet secured funding for the project, the company hopes to begin testing within the next year or 2. The biggest issue with all of these concepts, however, is cost. Even if you can find a way to make a flying car affordable to buy, you then have to contend with the cost of maintenance, insurance, fuel, and parking. But as more companies start to enter the flying car market, competition will hopefully drive down prices, and we can finally put those flying cars from the movies onto our own roads. It takes a lot of time and effort to make a good video. So if you like this one, please stay tuned for more. We love making content like this, and we'd love to make more, but we need your support. So hit the subscribe button and help us grow.